Hello everybody, this is Sean with SW Inspections, and today we're going to be doing a video on the roof certification. This is an inspection that we do here in Florida for roofs that are over a certain age, normally 10 to 15 years. Insurance companies don't like to insure roofs that are older than 10 to 15 years. The older the roof, the more likely that it's going to leak or have a problem or cause claims. So if your insurance agent says that you need this inspection done, this is the form that we're going to be using. You can use other forms. I've seen plenty of custom forms over the years, but this is the one that we use because it is universally accepted. So we're going to take a look at it together for information purposes for agents, for training, for future home inspectors, for clients. If you want to know more about it, here we are. We're going to go through it line by line. And here it is. So this is your standard citizen's roof inspection form or roof certification form. It's basically a snippet of the 4-point inspection form. So basically the roof section of the 4-point, a condensed version of the 4-point inspection form. The top is your information, your name, your address, and the date of the inspection. Next, we go through some housekeeping items right here. The sample roof inspection form or a similar form must be completed and signed by a Florida licensed professional. The form will not be accepted without the dated signature of one of the following appropriately licensed inspectors. So either a general residential building or roofing contractor, so either a GC or a roofer can do this. A building code inspector can obviously do this, or a Florida licensed home inspector, so this guy. It's more than likely going to be who's going to be doing your roof certification. And of course, this is not for loss mitigation features. That would be the wind mitigation form, which you can watch another video that I've done on if you care to learn a little bit more about that. And of course, we're going to be advised that underwriting will rely on the information in this form that is obtained by the licensed professional. This information is used to determine insurability and is not a warranty, right? So if we walk up to a roof and we say, okay, well, we estimate that it has 5 years of life left, and it springs a leak the next year, well, that happens. It's not a warranty. It's simply a snapshot in time. We cannot predict the future. We can walk away from a home and the next day it is struck by lightning. We can't do anything about that. So it's a snapshot in time on the day that we do the inspection. Moving down to the main body of the report, this is kind of the meat and potatoes of it. We need photos of each roof slope showing the roof's condition. And we'll be adding the photos at the end, and I'll show you a bunch of pictures of that. But basically what we do is we go through and we fill out the roof sections. We have the predominant roof. If you only have one roof section, this is the section we fill out. If you have two roof sections, then we do this section and that section. It just depends on what you have. Every house is unique. Every inspection is unique. It's why I do what I do. But the information that they want to know is what is it? What kind of covering material? Is it tile, metal, roll roofing, asphalt shingle? There's all sorts of different kinds of products that you can put on a roof. What is it? The second question is, how old is it? The way that we determine how old it is by permit information. My office does permit information when you call and schedule an appointment. We look at the property appraiser website for your county, and then we look at the permit or the building department website for whatever county you're in. If we're lucky, they have good records. If we're not lucky, we call them and see if they have better records. If we're still not lucky, well, you get the gist. We get the best information we can, and we put it into the report. Based on the material and how old it is, we can give an estimate of the remaining useful life. So for instance, if you have a roll roofing product, which is rated for 10 to 15 years, and it's 15 years old, we're at the end of its useful life. But that's why we go out and we look at the roof to make sure that it has some sort of longevity left. Just because a product says that it's rated for 15 years doesn't mean that it's going to last for 15 years. It may last for 10, or it may last for 20. It depends on how you treat it, the situations that are in play, and that's why we inspect, and that's why we document with pictures and any sort of documentation that we can find. They want to know the permit information and, of course, the date of last update. So if we find a permit, the permit information and the date of last update are the same thing. You had it permitted in 2005, it was replaced in 2005. There are some weird stipulations there, but for the most part, if you get a permit, that's when it was replaced. They want to know if it was updated. Was it a full replacement or a partial replacement? Did you do the entire roof or part of the roof? Normally it's the full replacement. Sometimes it's the partial, but for the most part it's the full replacement. And if it is a partial replacement, how much of the roof was actually replaced? Was it 10%, 20%, 30%? We make those calculations while we're there. Then we do the overall condition of the roof, which is satisfactory or unsatisfactory. Is it good or is it not? Is it in good working condition or is it not in good working condition? Now, if it's unsatisfactory, the reasons would be anything down here. So we're looking for any visible signs of damage or deterioration. And in this form's view, citizen's form, they are looking for cracking, cupping, or curling, excessive granule loss, exposed asphalt, exposed felt, missing, loose, cracked tabs or tiles, soft spots, or visible hail damage. And they're also looking for active signs of leaks. So if there are any visible signs of leaks, and if there are, where is it? Is it in the attic or on the underside of the decking? Is it on the interior ceilings? Is it on the soffit around the exterior of the home? That's why we're there, to document those features. If you do end up having more than one kind of roof, we simply do the same thing on this side. It's a mirror image for two different types of roofs. And I've inspected homes with 3 or 4 different kinds of roofs. It just depends on the building. Like I said, every one is unique. So after that section is completed, we move on to the next, which is the additional comments or observations. Now I used this one today, this section. I had a roof that was nearing the end of its useful life, but it was in excellent condition for its age. And I noted that in the additional comments section. You can say whatever you want to say in here. The roof is in good shape for its age. It has good granule retention and good adhesion, or however it is that you want to word what you're trying to say. That's where you put it, right here. Sometimes those comments go a long way. After that, we are going to be signing and dating and putting our mark on everything. So the inspector's signature is me. There's my title, my license number, the date, of course, the company name, the license type, and our phone number. So our pedigree information. And of course, this is the minimum data that needs to be done for underwriting to do their jobs. So they may require more information. They could ask for additional pictures. If you do your job right, they're not going to do that. But it's there. The photos that they're requiring are the roof, each slope, and any of the hazards or deficiencies that you find. So as we talked about up here, if you find any of these things, so any leaks, damaged shingles, damaged roofing, whatever the case may be, you take pictures of it, you write it up, and you include the pictures with that. It's important that you document a problem accurately so that the roofer or the handyman or the insurance adjuster, whoever it is that comes after you, has something to go on. Not just, oh, the roof is in unsatisfactory condition. Well, why? Because there's a bunch of shingles missing. Here's the pictures, here's where it is. And of course, you can use the additional comment section to give them really good information about where it is. Damaged shingles noted on southwest corner of home, right? Simple as that. And a picture comes with it. And of course, we have to certify the condition of the roofing system. And acceptable is pretty important here. Acceptable condition means that each system is working as intended, or there are no visible hazards or deficiencies, right? So we don't see any of the things that they're looking for. It's not leaking, it's in good shape, it still has life left on it. Well, it's in satisfactory condition. It's in acceptable condition according to this form. Additional comments, they want to know if there's been any updates. Of course, updates are right here. When was the last permit pulled? How old is it? What is it? Any visible hazards or deficiencies, right? We already went over that. And if it's not in good condition, well, they want to know about it. So, unsatisfactory. The agents themselves, the insurance agents in the business. The writing agent must review in advance each roof inspection form submitted with an application for coverage. Your agent has to actually look at this. They have to make sure that we documented it properly and make sure that it meets the requirements of whatever insurance company or Citizens or one of the private owned companies. It meets their requirements. If it doesn't meet their requirements, then they're submitting a report that they're not going to accept. They are responsible for making sure that it meets those requirements. Agents may not submit applications for properties with roofs not in good working order or with existing hazards or deficiencies. Right? So if it's got anything here, it can't be submitted because there's no point. They're just going to kick it back immediately. So if there's a hole in the roof, you're not getting insurance. You have to have a guy come out, or a gal, who knows what they're doing with the proper license. They have to fix the problem. They have to document that they fixed the problem. And then we have to update the report with the documentation that they provided. So their license number, their invoice, what they did to remedy the situation. And of course, it tells you that's the sample form. This is the standard universal form that's done by Citizens. So if we take a moment and go back to the photo requirements, we can look at what they're actually looking for. So, photos must accompany each roof inspection form. The minimum photo requirements include the roof, each slope, and all hazards or deficiencies. So let's take a look at a roof. Here's one that we did not too long ago. Beautiful home. Giant home. I believe this was a 2015 house, something like that. I do a lot of these, so it's hard to remember unless I actually look at it. But this is the roof that we're looking at. So hypothetically, 2015 standing seam metal roof. As of right now, it's 2023, so that would be 8 years old. We rate these for 30 years, so it would have 22 years left. They want to see all slopes. So this is a slope going down. There's a slope. There's a slope. There's a slope. You get the idea, right? This picture right here would actually satisfy the requirements of the report. You can clearly see the entire roof, but we go above and beyond. Of course we do. So let's give them some good pictures, right? Do every single slope. And it's important to give them good pictures so that they can scrutinize the pictures, because they will. They're not going to trust us. They're going to make sure that we actually give them the proper documentation and that proper documentation lines up with their company requirements. So we give them every single slope. And of course you can see me right there. And my audience, which is always fun. We also include the surround pictures of the home because it's the right thing to do. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to show them where you are. Give them address verification. Believe it or not, I've had plenty of people accuse me of inspecting the wrong house. It takes 2 seconds to take a photo, so that's what we do. And give them the ground shots as well. So all around the house, we want to see everything that we can possibly give them to make sure that it goes as smoothly as possible. The last thing that you want is your client calling you and saying, hey, why didn't you take a picture of this? Now they're asking me to walk outside of my house at the end of a long day and take a picture when I hired you to take pictures. Yeah, we want to avoid that situation. That's it. This roof is obviously in good shape. Peek your head up in the attic. Do your due diligence, walk around the house, make sure that there's nothing wrong with the roof. Look at the soffit, look at the attic, look at the roof itself. Make sure that there is nothing materially wrong with the roof system and properly document it. Send it off to your client, make sure everybody's happy. Rinse and repeat. So, if you guys have questions, you know where to reach me. Check us out, our website, our phone number, right there on the bottom right. And that's it. See you on the next one.